Greetings and welcome to our channel. We have a breaking news edition. Watching this means that you're still catching your breath. If you're just listening, you might want to take a seat down, as a result of what we just saw at the tennis center of the Aviation Club is not merely a game of tennis. There is a seismic occasion. The tectonics are changing plates in the women's tennis world. Additionally, the epicenter is located directly in the United Arab Emirates. The headline tonight is straightforward, but the plot is exceedingly intricate. Dubai as a whole is startled. The tennis community is in shock. Additionally, Alex Eala, the glory of the Philippines, the unrelenting combatant of the WTA Tour, has communicated so loud, indisputable, and ringing to the ears of all detractors, doubters, and each player in the locker with the highest ranking space. 3 words make up the message. I am not yet completed. We are in real time from the duty-free tennis championships in Dubai. A competition renowned for its glamour, its glitz with its harsh, merciless hard courts. One of the gems of the swing in the Middle East. It's where the greatest in the globe to firmly establish their supremacy. Historically, it is not a location for miracles. It's not a location where a young promising 20-year-old away from a demanding schedule and a tragic departure in Doha a few days ago is meant to take down a behemoth. However, the script wasn't just reversed tonight. It was torn up. Let us establish the scenario. When arriving in Dubai, the story of Alex Eala was a cautiously optimistic person. Combined with exhaustion, we are aware of the background. Last time we witnessed her genius in Abu Dhabi week, that incredible return versus Sasnovich. Making it to the quarterfinals, it helped her get into the top 40 for the first time in the world rankings in the past. We rejoiced over that. However, then Qatar arrived, the fatigue arrived. The defeat in the round against Teresa Valento 64 in Doha was a wake-up call. The murmurs began. They were heard by you. I heard them. She's exhausted the center. She can't handle the weight of the East swing. She's finished for the month this evening. Alex took those murmurs and put an end to them with a forehand that appeared to be shot out of a cannon. Playing against a single one of the tournament's top players, A with additional titles, expertise, and Ella, a higher seed, did more than simply survive. She flourished. This was no easy task. It was a war. For 3 hours and 12 minutes, the duty-free tennis tournament in Dubai, a cauldron was created out of the stadium of sound, stress, and unadulterated pure drama. Ella was seen down a set. We observed her during a pause in the second. We saw a person's body language. Player who ought to have made a travel to Indian Wells. However, then something took place. A spark, a change in the eyes. The mindset of not being finished yet. That's what this headline shouts. It wasn't merely a catchphrase. It was a strategic turnaround. Ella started to delve inside the baseline with unprecedented intensity back when she was a junior in the US Open. She began looking for angles that fit the geometry implies that it shouldn't exist. She came together from the verge of failure to compel a decider. Additionally, in the third set, she played more than simply tennis. She carried out a grit symphony. The Filipino audience. The unsung heartbeat of thousands of them of this competition exploded. Each point there was a roar of victory. Each point that was lost was all of us gasped. Less like an away game that is more akin to a home game in Manila. ISA closed after riding the wave. Take it out. She shut it down in amazing breathtaking clothes. This triumph is noteworthy for 3 reasons. Principal causes, initially the ranking consequences. Moving forward here, she presses and defends the idea she needs to moving closer to the desired top 30 seed bracket. Second, having the mental toughness to recover from the disappointment in Doha so rapidly to obliterate a loss's memories, then swap it out for a career-defining win demonstrates a level of maturity well above her 20 years. Thirdly, the assertion that contributes to the tour. The duty-free WTA 10,000 level championships are held occasion. These are the major leagues. Gaining an advantage, this isn't good fortune. It is a statement that Alex Eala should be talking not as a present as well as a future star risk. So, fasten your seatbelt. For the next hour, we're going to break down this game shot by shot. We will examine the biomechanics, psychology, and raw feeling of the evening. We'll examine the manner in which she neutralized the service. how she dealt with her own exhaustion, and why the particular victory could be the pivotal moment that characterizes her in 2026 season. Dubai is startled. The attraction is exploded. Additionally, Alex Eala is positioned in the middle of the court, arms up, declaring to the world that she is only beginning. This is a profound dive. To fully comprehend the scope of tonight's events, we can't simply take a look at the final score. The result is a synopsis. It was a new match. We must return to the starting point before they even hit the first ball. We must comprehend the environment and the swing in the Middle East's physical toll. Duty-free tennis championships in Dubai is a special kind of animal. The surface of the court is renowned for playing quickly, actually quick. The air in the desert is thin and the ball flies. For a participant such as Eala, who has been growing more combative, Rafael Nadal's game of flat-hitting academy, in theory, this ought to be in benefit. However, speed is reciprocal. When playing at a high adversary, a powerful striker who enjoys dictate play, you may be rushed by that speed. It may interfere with your preparation time. When tonight arrived, Eala's camp was silent. No audacious forecasts were made. The Doha defeat was new. Physical one real factor is weariness. Recall that she went deep while playing doubles in Abu Dhabi there in singles, then went to play in Qatar and is currently back in the UAE. That's quite a few flight miles and a significant amount of court time over 2 weeks. That was evident during today's warm-up. People saw that she was taping her left side. She walked with a heavy gait while practicing that the story was established. She is at risk. Her adversary was aware of this. It was visible to you. In the initial conversations, the plan against Eala was obvious. Take her to the limit. Make her go from side to side. Test the legs and take advantage of that tiredness. Also within the first 45 minutes the strategy was flawless. The game Eala served first and right away there was pressure. Her initial serve, the ratio was approximately 45% in the first set. This is much too low level. When your initial serve is missed in Dubai, the return is as inevitable as rocket. Isa was on the back all the time foot. Her opponent was seen stepping, taking the ball inside the baseline early and penalizing the second serve of Isa. They attempted to counterattack, but her timing was off. Was a little strange. The unintentional mistakes were accumulating. Long sailing forehands, catching the tape with backhands. It was a traditional indication of a player whose thoughts are willing, but whose body is simply not keeping up with less than a second behind. The throng attempted to raise her. You could hear the possibility of "Let's go Alex" resounding from the tiers in the upper part. However, tennis is a sport of loneliness when you're down 0-3 followed by 1-4. The court believes the size of the net and a football field is Loizo cipher set 2 to 10 feet 6. It was more than simply a defeat. It was a breaking down. She barely received 30% of her. She hit 0 winners in service points. The atmosphere in the commentary box was solemn. It appeared to be a rerun of the Doha departure. A petrol tank despite a heroic effort operating without power. What occurs in the between sets thoughts of a champion. This is the game of invisibleness. Isa used the restroom break. She walked out of the courtroom. The match took place in the 3-nut window. 1. She didn't return in a panic. She didn't try to hit when she returned. More forcefully, she returned with a distinct calibration. We frequently discuss regarding the Doll Academy and Eala's rough ears where DNA appears. It's not only pertaining to the lefty forehand. Regarding the unwillingness to accept the existing actuality, she returned to the court. Her visor was adjusted and you could see affirmations and her talking to herself. The neuropathways are reset. Eala changed as the second set started. Strategies. During the initial set, she was attempting to equal the strength of her opponent. She was losing the slugfest. In the second set, she added diversity. She began slicing into these quick Dubai courts. A slice that is low and sharp skids has the adversary bow their knees in order to create their own tempo. It interferes with the beat. Eala started chopping her off. Backhand wing, reducing the speed of the point, allowing her time to recuperate from the middle of the court. The winner was 3-3, then 2-2. It was an altercation. The adversary, irritated by the shift in speed, began to exert pressure. The unintentional mistake changed sides. Eala at 4-3, he broke serve. A huge she chased down a drop shot throughout the game. That seems to be unattainable was the moment when the stadium's energy when she made that passing shot things changed in order to ensure the break. She didn't simply she roared pumping her fist the not completed but the soul was waking up. It's never easy to close a set serving at ISA faced 2 breaks at 5 or 4. At these points the evolution of her service as the main focus of her 2025 training throughout the off-season paid off. She chose not to use a safe kick serve. Went down the T flat. Courageous, daring, ace-deuce. She held the line. We were supposed to make a decision at 6-4. This match's third set will go regarded as one of the best tennis sets ever performed by Alex Eala. It wasn't simply excellent with a lot of drama. The two players were worn out. The air was more humid and the shirts were saturated. This turned into a test to see who wanted more and who could carry out the execution under extreme physiological strain. Exchanged early breaks 1:1 and 2:2. Then catastrophe happened and Eala was in the 5th game. She broke at love. 2-4 was the opponent's consolidation score. Was deep in the 3rd set down a break against a professional athlete. The conclusion her opponent could see her line. Shock appeared to be subsiding. But this is where tonight's story's title comes from. Enters the game not yet complete. At 2, ISA waited on the changeover bench until 4. She raised her gaze to the TV at her box and she rose in front of when the umpire blew the whistle. She went to the baseline and she ceased to disappear. Specifically, for the following 20 minutes, Alex Eala turned into a backboard, began focusing on her opponents aggressively from the backhand corner. She used A to pull her opponent wide. She used a lefty spin, establishing the court and then suddenly extending the forehand flat down the line. It's a template for adults but modified to fit the women's competition. She broke 4-4 in the stadium. The Filipino expat was trembling. Dubai community renowned for their amazing assistance which made the duty-free turning a tennis stadium into a fun fair. Drums, flags waving and cheers. The sound was loud. Her opponent was obviously shaken at 30. Double faulted by the atmosphere in the 9th game to 30. Eala sensed she broke again. 5-4. Blood match service. Match service of this size is the most difficult thing. Your arm feels heavy when playing sports. It feels like your racket weighs 50 pounds. Your heart is thumping in your throat. Began with an error followed by a cautious her opponent smashed the second serve. 0-15 and a protracted rally concluded within 15-15. Another mistake 15 Eala winner 30-30 and ace. The match point arrived. Eala served wide at 40-30. Her opponent returned it in depth. Eala took a step back, wrapped up the forehand of that lefty and released an angle in the cross-court that was merely bowled. The ball dipped, kicked out after catching the sideline. Set, match, game, and a response was ISA dropped her racket and hands in an instant. On her head, an expression of utter incredul that instantly turned to happiness. She rushed to the internet, a polite handshake, and then gestured toward the throng to the earth. Now that I'm here, let's dig into this shock's explanation statistics. Points won for the second serve, Eala won 30% of the set. And in the third set, she won 68%. That's a significant number. Champion. She shielded her vulnerability and make it a neutralizer. Ned approaches. Eala scored 14 goals and won 12 of those in the final set. She didn't wait for her opponent to score points. To overlook, she grabbed the match away from her hands. The decisive element. She saved 7 out of 10 breakpoints encountered. When things got tough, she did her best. Tennis. This victory is unexpected due to the moment following the defeat in Doha. Anticipated a dip, but we received a rise instead. The opponent is the reason it is shocking. It was anticipated that this player would make the semi-finals. It is surprising due to the way a set results in victory depressed, appearing physically exhausted, and discovering a second victory that was just amazing beyond the arena. How does this affect the competition? The lower portion of the draw is now open and Eala has taken Eala's spot. Her journey to the quarterfinals, a seed, even while it's still challenging, is suddenly apparent. What does this signify for her ranking? We know she reached number 40 in the Globe Monday. This victory confirms that it argues for a point she needs to make and adds a bit more. We're examining a possible ascent to the top 35 if she wins another round. But after this has to do with reputation, math, conversations in the locker room. When you're a young player, perhaps you want to be respected, even somewhat apprehensive. You want rivals. Should think when you see your name in the draw, oh no, this is going to be a long day. Alex Eala deserved that terror tonight. Demonstrated that she is capable of winning ugly. She proved she could prevail even when she was exhausted. That the Abu Dhabi miracle wasn't it was an anomaly. The duty-free in the past championships have crowned new monarchs. We've witnessed Venus Hunan Halep rules the set tonight. Court a Quezon City girl received training in Yorka. Mayor performing for the Philippines entered her name into a drawing. The title claims that Dubai as a whole was shocked. Indeed, the commentators are taken aback. Bookmakers are astonished. Yet, observing the expression on Alex's face after the game interview, eyes sparkling, sweat pouring, grin broadly, I don't believe she is startled. I believe she anticipated this. And the most hazardous thing of all is that the center court's lights are going down. The cleaners are sweeping here in Dubai, taking away the night's confetti that we won't quickly forget. However, in the players' lounge already Alexander Eala is becoming more composed. She has already started drinking water, discussing the upcoming event with her coach's match, as that is the actual situation of the shock wares in professional tennis. Off the rush of excitement subsides, and tomorrow you must repeat the entire process. Even though victory is enormous, it's only one step. The headline is not yet complete. Is a two-edged sword though, meaning the competition is still ongoing. The season is still new and ISA has make her a target right now. Her opponent won't undervalue her. There won't be anything unexpected in the subsequent round. She will encounter a ready enemy who is hungry and wants to be the one to halt the Eala craze. However, if anything tonight shown to us, it's that in the flames, Alex Eala flourishes. She has the heavy lefty spin in the game, the enhancement of serve, the world-class court coverage, but above everything else, she has a Filipino heart, the puso that continues to beat to the end. It's time for the fans to return. When the Philippines learned about this is your win, so rejoice. Additionally, for the fans in Dubai who rest your soul, hoarse, they screamed themselves, voices, you will require them for the following round. So what comes next here? We observe the recuperation. Is she recover physically for the upcoming match in 48 hours? Is she able to keep this up? Intensity level. If she is able to, we are not merely observing a startling upset. Are anticipating a lengthy tournament run. Are considering a possible semi-finalist. Is an event for WTA 1000. The Dubai duty-free. The tennis championships are just getting started, but already Alexander Eala has given its pivotal time. She arrived, she observed, she suffered and she prevailed. Rankings will be updated. The highlight reels will spin, but the assertion stands. Alex Eala has not yet completed. She's actually just warming up from Dubai, documenting a historical evening. And this has been your in-depth analysis of Hysteria Analysis. Pay attention to the attraction and continue to believe in the underdog. Let's see what happens tomorrow.